What's up, y'all? These days, I get a lot of questions about the videos that I make, particularly the ones with multiple people involved, because right now we're all in the same quarantine boat together, and people still want to play music together. So I get a lot of questions about the gear that I use, the way I do my editing, what kind of microphones, all that good stuff. So I thought I was due for a new What's in My Gig Bag 2020 Apocalypse Edition. So, stand by. I've got a couple different setups because I do a lot of video and audio work in addition to just playing gigs. So bear with me if some of this doesn't apply to you, or if you just don't care about it. What I'm going to do is put the time codes down in the description box, so feel free to jump around if you're so inclined. If I'm just going out to a session or a regular gig, I don't have to worry about audio, video, all that crap. I try and keep it simple. And unlike last year's video, I don't have to worry about bringing all the whistles, because both for just regular sessions and for the band that I play with, we tend to play in what are generally considered standard Irish keys. So it's the flute, and I do switch them out occasionally, a D whistle, and I will bring the F whistle if I'm playing with the band, because I do use that a couple times. Flute low whistle stand, and this drumstick holder that I just attach to a mic stand if it's a proper gig. For sessions, I just throw everything on the table next to my Jameson and call it a day. Typically I'm coming from work, so I just chuck everything in my laptop bag and hit the road. Nice and simple. For full gigs, I usually play into a Shure Beta 58, which I think has a great sound for the flute, but there are plenty of comparable mics that I've played with that work great too, Sennheisers, things like that. If it's a more compact gig, I'll just play into this Bose Compact PA. It's got an L1 mixer, and then I'll just play into this clip-on flute mic here. This is by Audio-Technica. It's an Audio-Technica something or other. I don't know, can't remember. But for smaller gigs like this, I only have 5 channels, so in these cases, I just won't even bother playing whistle at all. Whether I'm recording at my house or out and about, I use a lot of the same tools. I don't have a proper home studio, so if I'm doing recording here, it's either for YouTube or just for scratch tracks in advance of a proper studio gig. For pure audio, I'm usually going to use this AKG mic. It's fine, it works well, and since I don't have proper isolation anyway, it's just going to be for scratch tracks. And I do all my audio work in Logic. No particular reason other than I've got a Mac and the other folks in the band use Logic too. For YouTube, I use a couple of different mic setups. This is a Shure lavalier mic, never quite know how to pronounce that. Shure SM93, for those of you keeping score at home. It works well, it sounds good, but the trouble with any of these types of clip-on mics is that you do run the risk of clothing noise as you move around, so it's not always ideal, but it usually does sound pretty well. Other times I use this Rode Video Micro, that's what it's called, plugs directly into the camera. And again, it sounds good, but it's one of those where you gotta be using a very wide lens, where you're right up next to it. It doesn't work if the camera's halfway across the room. I recently picked up a Rode NGT4, which is what I'm using right now to record into, so I can't show it to you, but check it out. It works really well. I'm really impressed with the sound quality. It requires very little post-processing, which is kind of awesome. Video-wise, it really depends on what sort of content I'm creating. Sometimes I use a drone, a gimbal, GoPros, various mounts and grips and all that sort of stuff. But most of my stuff is just me talking to the camera, sitting on a tripod, and obviously playing the whistle from time to time. And for that, my camera of choice is the Panasonic GH5. It does great image stabilization. It's got 4K, shoots in 4K, 60 frames per second, so I can do some kind of cool B-roll stuff. Overall, it's just got great image quality, and that's why I like it so much. And then if I'm doing a Facebook Live event, I can put it in a cage and attach all kinds of crap. I can put a phone holder in there. I can put in external microphones, handles, all that stuff. And after that, it's just time to edit. And for that, I use Final Cut Pro. I like Final Cut because it's similar to Logic, which I was already used to. To me, it feels intuitive, and it does everything I need. That's not to say it's better than Adobe Premiere or any other editor, it's just kind of the one I like. I also use Apple Motion for all the motion graphics and text that I overlay into my YouTube videos. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Let me know what kind of gear you guys use. I'm sort of a gear head. I like talking about it. I like finding out what other people use, what kind of instruments people play. Let me know. I just think it's kind of fun. Otherwise, I shall see you guys in the next one. Y'all take care.